Hooters is a restaurant based purely on the idea of selling hot wings and the commodification of women's bodies in a fast food setting. But did you know that they had an airline?
Fares from $99. Convenient morning departures and evening returns. No advance purchase. No Saturday night stay. Hooters girls on every flight.
The founder of Hooters restaurant chain, Robert Brooks, had a vision to create an airline to promote the Hooters restaurant brand in an unconventional manner. He hoped that Hooters Air would become a flying billboard for the chain, whilst remaining profitable. It is widely thought that the idea for Hooters Air came from some local college kids who pitched the idea to him. Additionally, he hoped that the city that he loved, Myrtle Beach, would become a golfing mecca thanks to his airline. And, in truth, he really did contribute a lot to the city by bringing in tens of thousands of visitors who wouldn't have otherwise visited. Hooters Air started in 2002 by acquiring a small charter company, Pace Airlines, and moving their assets to South Carolina. Hooters Air formally began operations in March of 2003, initially offering flights from Myrtle Beach to Atlanta and Baltimore. Starting an airline on the backdrop of the 9/11 attacks was definitely a brave choice. The airline was marketed towards golfers, with the Myrtle Beach base being one of the top golfing spots in the United States. Eventually offering flights to destinations as far as Las Vegas and Fort Lauderdale, all airfares were initially set at a flat rate of $99, rising to $129 later in the airline's life. This was actually quite enticing, as Hooters not only served meals on every flight over an hour, they reduced the number of seats to provide 34-inch seat pitch on each of their aircraft, much higher than competitors at the time. And it wouldn't be Hooters without Hooters girls.
Do you know why our beer is so cold here at Hooters? Because we keep it in the refrigerator.
They would employ 2 waitresses to ask trivia questions and dance to entertain the passengers during the flight.
Any training, anything like that?
There's certain things that we can't touch, I guess you can say, on the flight, but otherwise we're there to have fun, entertain, and just be friendly.
Because they were sent into the air without training, the girls would improvise on every flight. Some passengers would note the girls would be seated for the entire flight until their 5 minutes to dance and trivia routine. They'd also attempt to sell Hooters merchandise and then promptly return to their seats. Due to FAA regulations, the Hooters girls weren't even allowed to touch the drinks carts, let alone act as flight attendants, so 3 conventionally dressed flight attendants would be on every flight, in addition to the 2 Hooters girls. By the end of the life of the airline, it had amassed a fleet of 2 Boeing 737-200s, 4 slightly larger Boeing 737-300s, and 1 much larger 757-200. The beginning of the end was flagged for Hooters Air in late 2005, when the company suspended flights to Rockford, Pennsylvania due to the local government there subsidizing a competitor, United, and their flights from that destination to the tune of $2.5 million. Then, tragedy struck New Orleans in the Gulf of Mexico, with Hurricane Katrina, a devastating Category 5 hurricane, which caused $125 billion in damages and decimated US oil production, which in turn caused a huge rise in jet fuel prices. Fuel went from cents per gallon to dollars. This was too much for Hooters Air, whose flat rate, low fee, all-inclusive business model did not allow for such cuts to their margins. And it went bust in 2006, citing a $40 million loss. The world's first and last misogyny-powered airline no longer flies. But what about an airline so holy that Hooters Air would instantly burn in righteous fire in its presence? Check out this video here, and I'll see you next time.
Don't wait. Fly today. Log on to HootersAir.com or call 1-888-FLY-HOOT. Hooters Air puts the fun back into flying.